Well, just about an hour ago, the House Oversight Committee overwhelmingly passed a bill that would clear the way for D.C. to build a new Commander Stadium on the old RFK site in Southeast D.C. We've been talking about this. Let's go straight to our chief investigative reporter, Eric Flack. He is live on Capitol Hill, right outside the room where this all went down today.
So, Eric, a rare moment there in Rayburn when you have the conservative chair of the Oversight Committee, James Comer, on the same page with Mayor Bowser and people like Eleanor Holmes Norton.
Longo, we can actually talk about it a little bit later, but they were joking throughout this entire hearing how strangely bipartisan this was. I mean, Republican, Democrat had nothing to do really with where you were voting on this issue. And there were all types of different coalitions on a number of different issues. But as you all said just about an hour ago, inside this House Committee on Oversight and Accountability hearing room, the RFK Memorial Stadium Campus Revitalization Act passed this committee in a rare bipartisan vote, overwhelming, in fact, 31-9. Now, the bill, it was introduced, as you said, by Eleanor Holmes Norton and the Republican chair, James Comer of Kentucky. It extends DC lease with the federal government for the RFK site for up to 99 years and does expand how the site can be used. Most importantly, it can now, or could soon be used, for a football stadium, specifically a Commanders football stadium. DC Mayor Muriel Bowser, she was at the hearing. She didn't testify, but she was here all day. Afterwards, she said, look, this is not about a football stadium. This is about getting control of the RFK site back. But the truth be told, both outside this hearing room and inside, there sure was a lot of talk about football stadiums.
We have several examples of how to do stadiums, and they have all been successful. And so we just know that we have a great site. We are the spiritual home of the team. So when it's time for that discussion, which is not today, but when it's time for that discussion, I think we'll be in a very good position.
So what's next with this bill? Well, it comes out of committee, it goes to the full House because it's got bipartisan support, again, passed overwhelmingly, the committee 31-9. It's expected to hopefully fly through the House in the next couple of weeks, then it goes to the Senate. The mayor says the Senate is going to adopt the House version of the bill, which is another good sign. There could be some lingering issues we'll talk about here in a second, but for right now, hurdle one completed. Back to you guys.
Right, we heard the mayor just calling it the spiritual site, so you can feel her full support behind it. And also, no doubt this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the public sports funding debate, right, as it unfolds.
Right, and Eric, this just helps to position DC in a positive manner moving forward, because they're still going to have to compete with Maryland and Virginia if they want to land the team.
They do, and one of the challenges is going to be if they can come up with the same amount of money that Maryland and Virginia comes up with. Now, here's the thing. One amendment was offered to this bill. It was by a congressman from Pennsylvania, and what it said was you can control the site, you can build a stadium on the site, but you can't use public money to build a sports stadium on federal land. Now, as you guys know, that's the way NFL stadiums especially are mostly built, with public money. It would really handcuff the district if in fact this bill includes a rider that says they can't use public money to build a sports stadium. That debate actually dominated really the entire day and created some really strange bedfellows with Maryland congressmen, including Jamie Raskin of Montgomery County, really supporting this idea that DC should not use public money to build a football stadium on the site. The mayor basically accused Raskin of doing this to handcuff the city so he could keep the football stadium in Maryland. He, of course, denied that. We'll have some of that sound coming up for you at 5 o'clock.
So, Eric,
guys,
are you saying that amendment passed out of the committee and now we just have to wait and see if it would get stripped out of the full House version or if the Senate might strip it out?
Yeah, thanks for following up on that. It failed, but it was close. It failed 24-13. Where again, the bill itself passed, but the amendment had support. The idea of stripping the idea that public funds could be used out for a sports stadium, that idea had support. And now the question is, does that debate follow the bill to the House where it could be reintroduced potentially.
Look, lots of political maneuvering here, and Eric, we appreciate you keeping us up to speed, and of course we'll be checking in with you for any updates. Thank you.